Hoi hoi everyone, welcome to another episode of the O Show. I'm O and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, you guys, so today's video is kind of serious. Okay, we're gonna have a change of tone on the O Show. Recently, I just rewatched the movie that I haven't seen since it premiered on TV. It was a made-for-TV movie back in 1988, and it's called David. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of David Rothenberg, it's a story of a mom and dad who were divorced, and the dad was crazy, and so what happened was he kidnapped his son, flew him from New York to California, and instead of just giving the child back, he pulled a, well, you know what, I can't have him, no one can kind of thing, and ended up setting his son on fire. So the movie was actually based off of a book that the mom wrote. Her name was Marie Rothenberg. And oh my god, like, it was, I have not seen this movie in so long, and rewatching it just brought back like so many memories of when I actually watched it. And I couldn't like not cry then, and I just could not cry now. Like, you guys, I know you saw my thumbnail, but I'm not even joking. Like, I have to have my tissues here because I'm gonna try to do this review, and I'm gonna try not to cry. So there may be some intermissions here and there. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. So the movie stars Matthew Lawrence as 6-year-old David Rothenberg. Now, this is the events that took place in 1986. He was 6 years old. And the mom is played by star of stage and screen, Bernadette Peters. The dad is played by John Glover. And the dad's name is Charles Rothenberg. And the movie also stars Dan Loria? I never said his last name. But he plays John. He is the mom's new boyfriend, who was actually a cop. And if he looks familiar to you, he was actually the dad on The Wonder Years. And I think The Wonder Years came on, like, I think it premiered, like, after this movie. So, the movie starts off with just a regular morning where the mom is getting little David ready for school. And she goes to school, and then out from the bushes jumps the father. First of all, he was, like, stalking the playground, like, all morning, just waiting for her to show up. So, when she did, he, of course, pops up, and he's all like, oh, I want to take David for the weekend. And she's like, no. Like, my new guy, John, has been planning something for months this weekend. You can have him any other weekend. He was like, no, he's my son. So, after a while, after a whole bunch of begging, the mom pretty much gives in. So she's like, okay, fine. John is going to he's going to change his plans, and you can go ahead and take David for the weekend. Now, one red flag already with this damn father, like, there's always that parent that uses the kid, or, like, they'll have the kid there and be like, ooh, mommy's kicking me out, mommy doesn't want me to be around, mommy wants me to go away, so that the mom looks like the bad guy, and she's like, god damn it, like, that is not what's happening, you know, and then, but in the kid's eye, they're like, oh, mommy, why are you so mean to daddy, and all this other stuff, right? So, Charles actually meets with Marie one night. They're having dinner, and he tells her, well, you know what, I'm not working at the job I was at. I got a new job. It's going to start in a week. So instead of doing like a weekend, how about I just keep David for a week? And then that way I can have all this time with him. And then when the week is over, I'm going to start my new job. The new place is like right around the corner from where they live, which, of course it is. But, like, she's thinking about it, and she finally is like, you know what, fine. Go ahead and take David for a week. And, unfortunately, when she walked them to his car, she didn't know that was going to be the last time she was going to see her son.
Be a good boy now and listen to Daddy. David, you know if you want to talk to Mommy, if you want to come home. Not now, Mommy.
Come on, we better go, Marie. We'll be fine. Won't we, Davy? Yeah, come on, in we go. Hey.
Put your seatbelt on.
So Charles has been planning secretly this trip to take his kid to Disneyland, right? Now, I'm a little confused in the movie because, like, they're in New York, and then he ends up taking the kid to Disneyland in California. But, like, I don't remember if they said they flew, because he has a car when he's, like, in California, and that's a long-ass drive to drive from New York to, what you call it? So, I'm just gonna say they flew. I don't think they actually showed them flying. But you know what? Tickets and things back then are not like today, but like, he probably did just buy some plane tickets and went, and maybe he just rented a car. But anyway, they just show like all of a sudden they're just in California. So he was like, okay, well, we're gonna go to Disneyland tomorrow, but right now let's go ahead and get a hotel. And so he books this hotel like across the street or a couple blocks over from the park, and doesn't give his real name. I think he gives like David Glove as his name, so he's just making sure he's not on the radar anywhere. So back at home, Maria's like calling him, right? So apparently he told Maria he's gonna go to the Catskills. I didn't look that up, so I don't know what the Catskills are, I guess in New York, but that's where he's supposed to be. Now, the boyfriend, John, he's just like, oh, they're not answering, well, maybe they're out having fun. Like, he's always just like dismissing like bad things. He's just like, you know, just calm down. Like, I'm sure everything is fine. But after like 3 days of calling and calling and calling, he asks her like, or she finally tells him like where he's supposed to be. And then John, who's a cop, I guess was at the Catskills recently and realizes that actually it's closed. Like, there's no one there. He's like, well, damn, I'm sorry I didn't ask earlier where he's supposed to be, but there's no way he could be there because no one's there. So that's when Maria's like panicking, and she's like, oh my God, what is happening, right? And so they end up getting a warrant to go to Charles's place, and they find a note.
Police officers, we're coming in.
Here's something. You left a note. Thanks for everything. I will not be returning. Charles Rothenberg.
We'll put out an APB on both of them right away.
So now Maria's like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? So the cops are like, well, you know, don't stay home or anything. Just, you know, just go to work, pretend that everything is normal. Maybe he'll call or something. So Charles actually ends up calling, and he makes the mistake of saying like, well, David is asleep, and you know, it's 7 o'clock here. And then Maria's like, 7 o'clock? Like, it's 10 o'clock here where you're supposed to be. So she's like, wait, are you in California? Like, that's the time zone that it'll be 7 o'clock. And, you know, Charles is freaked out like, well, shit. And so she goes off of him, like, obviously, as she should.
He's my son, Marie. I have rights.
You don't have the right to take David out of New York State without my permission. That was our agreement. Now bring him back, now!
I can't stand listening to your mouth anymore.
Screaming at me, no more, Marie! I swear to you, Charles, when I get David back, you will never ever see him again. Do you understand? Never!
That's it, Marie. I'm finished. I promise you'll never find David now.
Oh, God, Charles, no, no!
I warned you. Don't threaten me like that. Don't ever threaten me about David!
I'm sorry, Charles, please. Forgive me, I didn't know, Charles. You scared me. You took David away and you scared me. Please.
I thought about it a long time last night. I was going to give you another chance, but I can't now. Goodbye, Marie.
Please, Charles, no! Where are you? Charles! Charles, where are you?
So the problem with that is now that she's gone off with him, he's always like, oh, Marie's always turning the kid against me, and she's trying to take my kid away from me. So her saying like, you're never gonna see him again, just like, you know, in his head. So what does he do? Well, he decides like, you know what, if I can't have him, no one can. Fucking bullshit. There's a combination of that, like the issues he's having with his wife, ex-wife. But then there's also the situation of David. Now remember, he's only like 6 years old. He told this kid he's going to go to Disneyland. Now, I don't really think he was going to take this kid to Disneyland. But however, it ends up raining like since the moment they get there. Like the first day, he's like, let's go to the hotel, let's kind of sleep so we can get ready for Disneyland. And then it just so happened that it rained and rained and rained. So no one really got to go to Disneyland. But that night, I guess the rain was like, well, before we get to that. So he takes the kid to this like convenience store. And he ends up just buying a canister of kerosene. And just, that's it. I think like David has like a little camera or something, maybe to throw the kid off, but he buys his can of kerosene. Now the kid doesn't know what that is. And then he goes back to the hotel. So it stops raining, and the kid is like, oh my God, it stopped raining, maybe we can go to Disneyland tomorrow. And he's like, yay, that's what we're going to do. However, I need you to take this pill. And the kid's like, what's this pill for? And he's like, well, it's going to make you sleep good tonight so that tomorrow you have all this energy to ride all these rides. So, of course, the kid's not going to argue. So he takes this pill. And when the kid is knocked out, that is then when he goes through the hotel and just douses everything with the gasoline. So, not crying yet, you guys. So what had happened was, he comes out, he dumps the can in the garbage, and there's a lady on the balcony just minding her own business to get some ice. But, she kind of turns around and looks and sees this guy throwing this mess away, going to the door, striking a match, and just throwing it into the room. So his coward ass gets into the car and kind of drives back, and then room explodes. So thank God, like, he didn't like just sleep through the whole thing. Like, he was actually conscious, I guess, when it happens. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't just sleep through it, just like, David is still with us. But he did wake up, so maybe he he ran out or something. I don't know, before the fire department got there, but so Charles ends up sending Marie a telegram, and it's pretty much saying like, by the time you read this, like, something's going to be wrong with me, or something would have happened to me. But at the same time, like, I'm going to hurt your son, our son. And then she ends up getting a phone call from, I think, the police or something. And they're like, your son has been in an accident. He's at a hospital in California. So she's calling these hospitals. She finds the one that he's in. And he's alive. He's responsive. So the nurse comes over and goes, "Hey, is your name David?" And his head goes like this. So like that was the only like confirmation that that's who this kid is. So Marie flies from New York to California and comes in and verifies that yes, that is David.
I'm here with your mommy. Both right here beside you, pal. I brought Bear, see?
Maybe you better take her out.
Davy, Mommy's here, sweetheart. I'm here. It's gonna be all right. Shh. I love you.
Marie, we better go.
Oh my God, you guys, it's starting. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this motherfucker, Charles, is getting on payphones and shit, calling the hospital saying like, "Oh, I'm a firefighter. I just want to know like, what's the condition of that little boy who was burnt up?" And, the police are like, "We're not going to fucking tell you." Like, they're screening the calls, trying to figure out, like, where this man is. So he ends up calling again one time, and they track him down to San Francisco. So his ass done went to San Francisco, making fucking prank calls, trying to learn the status of his son. Like, you don't even know. So they ended up finding him and arresting him and locked his ass up.
I don't think you wanted to do yourself in as much as you wanted to do David in. Is that right?
At the beginning, I wanted to do us both. In fact, I wanted David and myself to go in such a way that Marie would never have known about it. Just no identity at all. I wanted to kill us both.
Yeah, but you chickened out.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie from here is just pretty much seeing David's progress in healing. Because the doctor literally told the mom, like when she got there, she was like, he has like 48 hours and his wounds are just so open. He was burned 90% of his body. And he's just open for like all diseases and anything like that. Like he's going to fucking die. But he pulls it through. He makes it. The mom is like freaking out and getting on all the doctor's nerves and the nurses' nerves. Like the kid was just burned up, and then she's freaking out because she looked and sees that he has no ears, and she's like, "Where is his ears?" Like, girl, fire! It's cartilage. Like, it's, what do you think happened to it? So then they were like, "Well, he's also gonna lose his fingers while you're asking," So So the day comes where they're like, okay, David, we're going to remove your bandages. We're going to see how everything's happening. And if you want to see what you look like, you can. So he does. But the mom was like, no, I don't want him to see it. But he's like, no, I want to see. And he does. And just, oh, God, look. Just look.
I look like a monster. No, sweetheart, no. You're still Mommy's beautiful baby boy. No, I look like a monster. I hate this.
David, remember I told you I was in the fire too, just like you? Well, look at me. Do I look like a monster? Well, neither will you.
So, like, oh, God. So, David, again, is progressing, like, really well. He's learning how to walk. He is, learning how to eat, like, on his own. Like, there was a scene where he's eating ice cream, and the mom was like, well, let me help you. He's like, well, I want to do it myself. So, he's tough. Like, he's like, well, let me see if I can do it. And he does it. People staring and him having to get over, like, people are ignorant, they're going to stare, but whatever. Okay, so then the trial of Charles comes up. And Marie gives her statement to the court, and then the judge is like, well, do you want to say anything, Mr. Rothenberg? And then this fool turns around and says this stupid mess, but ends his statement with, like, I forgive you. Like, you forgive us? What the fuck? Oh my God. Like, you can tell the mom wanted to get him to slap the shit out of him. He was like, I hope you can forgive me, but, like, I forgive you. Get the fuck out of here.
I know what I'm going through and will continue to go through in my life. I know what you two guys are going to be going through and what you're going to have to be going through for the rest of your lives. I'd like to now ask your forgiveness, Marie and John, as I now forgive you both.
Yeah.
So the judge is like, look, in all my years, I have never seen anything more despicable than you and what you did. And if it was up to me, like, your ass would be in fucking jail for the rest of your life. But since Charles pleaded guilty and no insanity, The maximum was like 13 years. He gets 13 years for burning up his kid. The hell? So he does. So anyway, they put his ass away. I'll come back to that. But later on, the movie ends showing David coming out of the hospital, and he's like, I want to walk. And so he's coming down like the hallway, and all the nurses are like, yay, and cheering. So, I can't be a nurse because I would be just crying. And like, people would be getting well, but I'll be at their bed going, I'm so sorry it's happening here. Oh my God. So he's coming out, and he walks, and the news is there. Now, there's a scene where, like, there's a TV set in Charles' jail cell so he can see his son, like, leaving the hospital and shit. I know the 80s was a different time, but I'm pretty sure these people didn't have fucking TV sets in their jail cell. Like, don't show that bastard what his son looks like. Like, don't, oh my God. But anyway, David's walking and all this stuff, and the movie concludes just showing him, like, skateboarding, and, he's living his life, and, oh my gosh. So, I did kind of look up a little information on, like, the dad and what David was doing. So, the dad was given, like, the 13 years, but I guess he was released after 7, right? So now he's free walking the street. But then this fool, like, I don't know, did he shoot someone? He was in, like, he committed another crime. And then got locked away again. And then he came out, I think he did something else. And then he tried to change his name to, like, Charlie Charles or something stupid. Like, that guy was, like, he was mental. Now, David went to school. He ended up changing his name because he didn't want to be associated with anything with his father. So I think he went from, like, David to Dave, but, like, changed his last name to Robinson. He became a DJ, a producer, like a rapper. Apparently he, like, directed a music video. However, he did pass away at the age of 42 of pneumonia. So, that's sad. But, he lived a happy life. Like, all that happened to him, and he became like a DJ, and I guess he loved, like, rock music growing up as a kid, but he really, really loved music, and that's what he did as an adult. So, bravo to you, David, rest in peace, or Dave. But, yes, and then as I said, then, after all that happened, the mom wrote a book, and then they made the movie in 1988, so that is the story of David, you guys. Like, it's when you watch it, it is so tough because you're just so angry, like, the whole time, and you know something's gonna happen, like the way this man. And you know what? You know how, like, when celebrities say that, I'd be walking down the street and then a fan would be like, I hate you, because, like, the character they played might have killed a good person on the show, or, something. So, like, people are always not associating them, like, who they are in real life, but, like, as the character. And they're always, like, mad at people when they're villains. I didn't really think that I did that growing up. However, I now remember when I watched Gremlins 2, and this guy, what the hell is his name? Glover, right? John Glover. So, he plays the owner of that building in Gremlins 2. And I do remember watching that movie going, oh my God, that's the father from David! And then I had to, like, and then, I watched Gremlins, like, 5 times, and then eventually I got over that. I don't think I ever, like, did that again to a person, but I do remember when that guy showed up on different things. I was just like, ugh, there's that bastard that killed David. We'll try to. So, yes. Ooh, you know what? I thought it was going to be worse. I was literally in tears the other day watching this movie, so I didn't think I was going to get through this review. But let me know if you ever seen the movie David. Do you remember it? If you did see it in the 80s. It is currently, someone has it streaming on YouTube. So that's how, I don't even know how it came up, like, in my algorithm. But I was like, oh shit, I remember this movie. Yeah, if you want to see it, it is streaming on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. And, yeah, it's a really good movie. I'm going to give this movie all 5 of my shots because it's really good. It's good. It's sad. It sucks. Fucking Matthew Lawrence. He did a really good job as his character. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this movie. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. So, until then, TTFN.